Hey G, what's going on?
Going good, bro. Life's pretty good,
Cool. You ready to
especially
rock
as a
and roll?
Romanian. Yeah,
Are
100%,
you
bro.
in
Always.
Romania?
Bro, I'm in Romania. Yeah, I'm
Okay, okay.
Romanian. I'm actually born and raised in Romania, but I also live in Romania, Italy,
Nice.
Romania, and a bit of France. That's where I travel the most, right?
Okay, okay. Nice, nice. All right, you
And
ready
and
to
you'll
rock and
get
roll?
to you'll get to see why, because I'll explain a bit of my story, right? And it's a bit crazy. I'm ready, bro.
I'm
When
gonna
you're ready, let's go.
I'm gonna hear it all. Let's do it. Cool. Firstly,
Nice.
what's your name? Where do you come from?
My name is Pruna. I come from Romania, born and raised here at about 200 kilometers away from the capital, Bucharest.
Excellent. And how long have you been a student of the real world, Bruno?
Since the beginning, I believe, since HU2 era, I actually have the email from I believe it was 2020 or something, right at the COVID start when HU2 started on Discord, and I joined since I just saw Andrew on the big screen. On YouTube, I believe it was, before they banned him on everything, and yeah.
Cool. So you're an old school veteran of the whole university.
Yeah, I'm an old school young student of the real world.
Good man, good man. So how old are you, Bruno, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 20.
You're 20.
Yeah,
Cool. And
everybody says I'm very young, but I don't really feel like it. I don't I
you are.
Everybody says, "Oh, you have time. Don't worry about it. Join the ring next year," for example, because in the autumn I'm preparing for my first professional fight, and
Hmm.
everybody says I just keep stall it, but I feel like I have no time already. I'm competing with guys that are 30, like, or they'll live 20 times, two times more than I lived, and it's a bit crazy for me.
You know, Bruno, a lot of things are about perspective, and in perspective terms, you are quite young. But then on the other hand, it's like speed is vital, right? Speed is vital. So
100%. That's the first
yeah,
lesson. Speed, very important.
exactly,
Regardless
exactly.
of what you do, you just need to move fast and with perspicacity and always be there and just push every day. Just go for it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you've been in from the beginning. Let's talk about when it changed to the real world and the layout of the real world. So how did you decide which campus you were going to be in, and which campus did you join and why?
Well, first of all, I joined the copywriting campus. I just like the mentality of it. I just observed the people before I just joined. It was about 2 3 days. I started looking in the chat. I started talking to people, and the copywriting campus stood out most for me because the mentality of it and how you actually perceive things, how you see things, and how you actually do things. And I joined the copywriting campus at the beginning, at the start of the real world. I worked a bit on the copywriting campus. At that time, I didn't actually realize how much things from outside would try to change me. At that time, I was finishing high school. It was a very, very messy situation in terms of COVID was on, people at school. And actually, since I changed my mentality from joining the real world, I saw people see me differently, treat me differently in terms of I saw things from outside that tried to change me, and I said no. And the moment I said no, people looked at me differently. Like I wasn't there to just follow the way they told me to be, right? I'll give you an example. I'll deviate a bit from the whole thing with the real world. I was sitting in class and everybody was forced to put their masks on, right? And I remember the teacher went out of the class and I just got my mask out. Everybody was with their mask on, 40 people. And from the back, about 10 to 12 individuals, they kept shouting at me to put my mask on. And I said, hey, bro, if you're so scared of COVID, why don't you come over here? I'll fucking scare you up a lot. And
Yeah,
I literally told them, hey, bro, this is not real. Literally, this is not real. Where's the COVID? Where's the dead people? Why we are all here if it's so deadly, if it's so fucking bad about it? And they were just running their mouth, and I just put my mask over there, just threw it away. I was at the second floor, and I just threw it on the fucking window. And when the teacher come, she was like, why don't you have a mask? And I said, he just flew out. Give me another one. Give me another one. And it was, yeah, bro. I got endless masks. I never bought a mask, bro. Literally in my life. They just gave me masks, bro. And yeah, and this is all tied up to the real world and to the Hustles University at that time, because I didn't accept their agenda, their bullshit, right? I couldn't
Mhm.
fucking speak with the mask. I couldn't breathe. I'm like, let me breathe, bro. Come on, let me speak about it, right? Literally. And from that time, the real world, I had to took it a bit slow because I had the exams, and obviously you know how it goes. You have to pass them. You cannot be like, you have to do the bare minimum, at least pass them. I
Well,
passed
yeah,
them
yeah,
everything. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. You have to do the bare minimum. You cannot be an idiot and not pass. Because I'm a very smart guy. And I get this a lot from my mom when I only work on my things and I don't do, I don't know, any bullshit stuff. They're like, you're a bit lazy with the things that I could do, like learning university,
Yeah.
for example, or things like this. And I just tell them, hey, bro, I'm not lazy. I just don't really give a fuck about it that much for me to actually just put 100% of my effort and 100% of my brain and my energy into that stuff, right? Like I care
Mhm.
about money and fighting and being in a very good fighting shape, physical shape, training to the gym. I train twice a day. And coming back to that story, to the HU2, from that time, I didn't really know what to join, right? Like I finished high school, I just had a bunch of free time, right? And I said to me, I either try to get a sales job and work in the real world, the HU2, or I just go full on, right? But I was thinking I should get a job so I can see how people think, especially a sales job, only a sales job, right? I'm not gonna I don't have a problem with hard work or a lot of hard work for no money, right? Because I care about experience at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I was never afraid of any of this stuff. I'm not afraid to work a minimum wage job, or I haven't done it. I obviously done it. Who didn't do it, bro? Literally,
Bro,
right?
it's
Yeah,
life.
yeah, yeah. That's life, bro, and it's hard, and it's the way it should be at the end of the day. Because these things you couldn't get the fucking big very highs without the big very lows, right?
There's no dark
And
without light. There's no light without dark.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, 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 100%. And from that point on, I got a sales job, and I also worked in the HU2. I started my marketing agency. That was about 2021, something about there, right? A year has passed with college and everything and all the fucking crap, right? I just had to do it. That was the
So
way to
you
go,
started your
especially.
marketing agency, bro, through the Hustlers University?
Yeah. All the things that I
Okay.
learned in Hustle University, combined with the business campus, combined with the copywriting campus, very, very good stuff. I just used them and launched my marketing agency from ground zero, from nothing that I would have known before HU2.
And you learned all this in HU2, right?
All of it, from ground zero to all the way to the top. And I still have a lot to learn. And there's always things you need to always be at there, to always be at work, to always learn, to always put the work in.
Okay. Do you think that your results with that marketing agency would have been different if you had to learn maybe the same things off of YouTube, for example?
Well, at the end of the day, the ways I set my goals is to basically smash them. That's why I said them, right? Without HU2, the process would have been way, 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 way more slower. Like the HU2 just gives you things on the things that you need to learn, the things that you need to hear, the things that you need to do, and it's just way
Mhm.
faster. For example, if I were to go with YouTube probably take me 6 to 8 months. And if I go with the real world, just take me uh, I don't know, let's say a month, with all the speed and the hard work and the mentality. You just get things faster, better. You have more time, you have more money with it. It's just better. It's just better.
So
For anyone,
how much are you generating from the real world in a month now?
well, last month I did about 12 grand. Now it's about 17, and I still have a client to get in, so it's about 20 grand
And is that in
monthly,
US dollars?
in euros,
In
20,000
euros? Oh,
euros.
bro,
Yeah, I'm,
fantastic.
I'm Romania, bro. I'm Romania.
Fantastic,
We all
G.
do here,
Fantastic.
lay in euros here. Yeah.
Well, I hope it's not 20,000 lei. I hope it's euros, G.
No,
Yeah,
that's about 5 grand, bro. That's
that's right.
that's from
That's right.
two clients. So yeah,
Yeah. No, bro, that's
yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. And how did you go about acquiring your first client in the copywriting campus?
Well, I obviously went through all the lessons. I learned about it. I just didn't went through like Netflix my way through it. I just sat down, got my fucking pen, and write down everything that I needed to know about it. I just applied everything from there. I started speaking to businesses. I learned how to speak to businesses. I learned how to come across as a professional into these calls when I call them or email them, right? And then I sat down. I had a sales call with them. I learned their needs. I understand their needs, more importantly, and I deliver what they needed. It's just as simple as that. It's a simple process. Anyone could do it.
Fantastic, fantastic. And what made you join the copywriting campus specifically? What is it that made you choose that campus?
Well, when I joined, I have to say it was the way people think in that campus and the way people act in the campus. Because everybody in the campus is a man of his word, and they just do a lot of hard work, and they are never lazy. They just do the things they're supposed to do, and they get results. And that's why I joined, and that's what I wanted, results.
Yep, yep. And who is your professor inside that campus?
Andrew is a professor in the copy campus, and in the business campus, which I actively work on both. It's Arno, very great professor, the
Oh,
best. Some
yes.
of them would say.
Yeah. And what would you say about these guys as professors? Do you think they're good at what they do? Would you argue that they're the best at their game?
Yeah, I put my word to it. They're the best at it, and I don't think there's someone that it's fit for me and for everybody else to teach, especially because I see guys that are taking there without zero business knowledge, copywriting knowledge, and they just take them to 10 grand a month. It's like
Mhm.
incredible from guys with zero business intuition, skills, speaking, marketing, nothing. They just took them from zero. They learned, obviously, the guys need to be perspicacious and learn, and they just take them to 10 grand. As
How
easy as it
how did
gets.
you how long did it take for you to, from joining the copywriting campus to making your first dollar back from that? How long did that take from joining the campus to making your first dollar back?
Bro, genuinely 2 weeks. I remember it to this day. That was the first money that got into my bank account. And it was something very small at the end of the day, right? I can't remember exactly how much it was. But at
Mhm.
2 weeks, just put in the lesson, just speak with the people, boom, just money in, bro. I was fucking, I believe, 16, I believe, right? I was 16, bro. I just had my first money into bank account from nothing. My parents were working their minimum wage job, and I would just make money into the internet, $200 in a day. I was like, bro, I'm I'm good, bro. This is nice, right?
Nice, nice. And if someone was to join now at 16 and enter the copywriting campus, what would you give them? What advice would you give them in order to make their first bit of money as quickly as they can?
They need to put a lot, as much as their time into it. They need to listen to the lessons, listen to the professors. If they don't understand something, they could go back into the lessons. They could speak to the professor, which is very good. And that's about it.
Cool. You mentioned that you're making $20,000 a month.
Yeah.
Now, how long did it take for you to grow your agency in order to start making that much money?
Well, at the start, obviously, it was very hard, and I had to work a lot, especially with client management. Outreach took a long time for me, and I would say about 3 to 4 months of hard work every day to get to that specific level. But it also puts you into the perspective of um the first month I made 2 grand, the second month I had 5 grand, 7 grand, and everything about it, right? And you just go up from there.
Lovely, bro. Lovely. And is there any mistakes that you made when you joined the campus that you'd tell maybe someone joining not to make that same mistake? Is there any mistakes that you made, or, what would you tell people
Yeah.
to avoid doing when they join the campus?
Well, this is a mistake that I made, and I need people to listen very well to this. Don't switch between campuses, right? When something doesn't work, you just need to be at it and just work at it, no matter how much it is. Excuse me for 1 second. I think
No,
there's
no,
a
that's
snake in
fine,
my. Bro, it's a snake in
do
my
what you need to do.
backyard.
We can edit out. Do what you need to do. Yeah.
I think it's a snake in my backyard, bro. I'll have
No
to
worries, G. Go do
fucking
your
kill it.
thing.
I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back, bro. I'm ready. I'm Romanian.
Go
Don't
and do
look
it,
at me.
bro. Go and do
Don't
it.
look at me crazy.
Let's resume.
Nice.
Excellent. Excellent. Cool. So, where were we? What was the last question I asked you?
Yeah, the last question that you asked me, it's what advice would I give to people that are joining the copywriting campus right now? And if I've made any mistakes, what I would
Yeah,
advise them
yeah,
to
that's
not
right.
make?
Good recap.
Specifications, bro,
So,
you see.
good recap. Let's go.
Yeah. So basically, for the people that are joining the real world and are right now picking the copywriting campus, I would tell them to stick to it no matter how hard it gets. Because the first mistake that I made into the real world is switching campuses or focusing too much on a different campus than the campus that I previously choose. So stick to one campus regardless of how hard it gets. And even if you have no results for the first days or the first weeks, just stick to it and just try to learn, try to figure it out. It's like a
Mhm.
roadblock. You'll see you're learning into the campus. It's like a roadblock. You just have to go and find any way around it, over it, under it. It doesn't matter. Just find a way, and you'll be very good. Don't worry about it. Don't think too much. Just do the work.
Yeah, good take, good take. So, what would you say that the core principles are of copywriting?
So obviously, as in the real world, um, one of the first one of the first core principle is to be a man of your word, right? In terms of you'd have to write in a chat, for example, you'll do 60 cold calls, for example, today. Do the 60 cold calls. Do whatever you say you are going to do and stick to it and be a man, regardless of how hard it takes, or how hard it, how long it's gonna take. If you say you're gonna do 60 push-ups, do 60 push-ups, bro. Regardless of fucking no matter what, do your house could get on fire. Do the fucking push-ups, bro. Be a man of your word. Like
Nice.
it's very important to stick to it, regardless of how hard it gets. Another one, it would be to do the work every day, right? The day, like you can get lucky, let's put it like that, every day. You never know when the day is gonna come and you're gonna outreach to a client that just need marketing and just gonna pay you 20 grand, right? You just have to be out there regardless of how hard it is. And I know I
Yeah.
repeated myself, but it's very important to just be there and do the work and stay diligent and speak to the people and try to connect dots and you'll make it work.
In terms of value, the real world's now $100 a month. How would you say the real world is in terms of value for money?
Well, I remember I joined, obviously, I kept my price at 50 because I'm a smart guy,
So you're one of the
obviously.
lucky ones, of course. But now it's
Bro,
$100. But what would you
yeah, now
say
it's
it is in terms of
$100.
value?
Bro, for me, and I believe for anyone that is trying to join the real world, either if it's 50, 100, and 200, the value, it's way more than what you're paying. You're gonna, I guarantee you, if you stick to the things that you have to do every day, and you listen to the rules, and you do everything with speed, and you're a smart specifications guys, you're gonna make your money in 2 weeks, guaranteed. You're gonna make your money back in 2 weeks, guaranteed.
Good man. I love that mentality. I love that mentality. And what would you say to anyone who would tell you that the real world is a scam? What would you say to them?
Well, obviously, they have to try it, and if they, for example, try it for a month and they don't see progress, they're just a pussy, bro. Like you expect to make
Bro, I agree.
millions.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree. Yeah. So
you're
you
just
get
a
a lot of
pussy,
people
bro. You
who
want to
join.
make, yeah,
A lot of people join and they don't do the work, and then they wonder why they don't make money. And it's like,
yeah.
of course you're not going to
Like
make money. Yeah.
obviously you're not gonna make money if you don't try very hard, and if you try for 2 days and you say it's a scam, bro, then nobody can save you. Literally, you're just a
How do you
dummy.
keep your clients in the copywriting campus? How do you keep your clients, and how do you evolve in copywriting campus?
Well, to keep your clients, it's a very different story than actually getting new clients, right? When you try to keep your clients, it's very important to always over deliver, right? You need to be very, and pay a lot of attention to what they actually need because the markets are changing every day, right? They need
Hmm.
to be out there at the top. You need to deliver the best of the best for them so that you actually work with them. You need to speak with them, and this is very important because if you are not doing things every day and if you're not working every day, you cannot keep them every day because their business is running every day, bro. How they could be at the top every day if you are not working every day for their business every day, you know?
Yeah.
And it is extremely important to maintain a relationship of always over delivering to your clients.
Have you developed any personal relationships inside of your campus? Like, have you made any friends? Have you created any sort of brotherhood? Do you speak to your professor or any of the captains inside? Tell me a bit more about that.
Well, due to the fact that I work hard every day and I'm always into the campus, people recognize me. When you are always at tour, they just see you and you just speak to them. And I already made brothership and guys, and I speak with guys from there every day. Romanian guys, Poland guys, everybody, African guys. It doesn't really matter, right? We all always work on this one project of and one task of basically being the best every day, each and
Yeah,
every one of us, and
yeah.
we're just always at war, and we obviously become brotherhood. We just keep ourselves accountable every day. Hey, did you do the work? Hey, have you seen this new live stream and everything around it? And it's extremely important to, for example, get in the morning a notification from your friend like, hey, I'm doing the work, what you're doing,
So
right?
you help each other, motivate each other.
Yeah, we help each other, motivate each other. We always, for example, even with the professor, I have a close relationship. Even with Andrew, with Arno, we just, for example, when I have a question, I just speak to them. They answer very, very fast, so that I can deliver to my clients very, very fast. And
Yeah.
even if they can't answer at that moment, that time, I have captains, I have brotherhood, I have guys that I work with every day, and we just help each other.
And would you say that the brotherhood elements to the real world is an important, feature?
It's an actually core feature for the real world, because without brotherhood and without guys that are keeping you accountable every day, you can do shit. A lone wolf will never work against a pack of 10 guys that are keeping each other every day accountable.
Yeah, absolutely. And how many hours a day do you spend inside the real world?
About 6 or 7. Sometimes I do 4, because the work on the clients it's separate from the real world, and I already know what to do, right? I also have
Yeah,
a family company. I have a trucking
yeah,
business that I own, and I'm always, sometimes I'm on the road, sometimes
yeah,
I just speak from my phone, sometimes from my laptop, or I'm
yeah.
when I'm home at my setup, right? I just try to spend as much possible time as possible while also completing my task, while also speaking to the people that I need to speak every day.
Hmm. Talk me through like a standard day for you inside the real world, from waking up to going to bed. Give me a standard day for you.
Well, first of all, I wake up about 7. I obviously train until about 9. Either I go to the gym or I train at home. Then I spend some time into the real world until about 12 a.m. to that's about 4 or 5 hours already into the real world from 9.
Yeah,
And then probably I either have other things like client work. I either have my trucking business that I need to take care of, manage my trucks, manage my clients, speak to them, and it's gonna be about 3 or 4. At that time, I already have to go to the MMA class. After that,
yeah.
I spend some time into the real world from about 9 to, let's say, 9 p.m. to 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, and then I just reset and boom, back in business daily.
Very good, bro. Very good. And how is copywriting evolving? How is it evolving?
Well, the thing is this: the markets are always changing. People are always changing. There's gonna be some new things that people will look at it and will just take their mind, for example, or take their eyes. And basically, marketing is the is like a core principle of who can. How much attention can you get from other people, right? It's
Yeah.
extremely important to get attention from other people. That's the basic of marketing, right? And it always changes. You always need to be and to keep yourself accountable with those changes, and the real world actually helps with that, because when some new things are changing in the market, your professor is going to tell them, the captain is going to tell them in a live call that it basically does daily. You cannot miss that,
Yeah.
and you always stay up to date so that you make sure you deliver to your clients as much value as possible at the end of the day, because this is why they keep working with you. That's what it just sets you apart from other people, the value that you give to your clients.
How much is your highest client paying you per month?
Bro, I believe about 6 or 7 thousand, 6.5 to 7K euros.
Excellent. And with the introduction of AI becoming such a vast tool that people are using, do you think that will impact the copywriting campus at all?
Well, you cannot replace people, but you can use AI to make your work better. AI just helps me do things faster, and I never try to just let AI do some things for me, and I just never look at it. AI just helps me. I make
Yeah.
the AI. AI doesn't make me. And people, especially marketers and the guys with businesses, they'll never be replaced by AI, no matter how good it gets at the end of the day. Where people and
So would you say
build these things.
evolving the way that you're working is helping you become more efficient in terms of serving your clients?
Yeah, AI just helps me, and it's very good at what it does. But without me giving the prompts and without actually uh, doing what I tell it to do, it will never replace me. no matter how good I am, how.
Yeah. What would you say the three best things that your professor has taught you inside that campus?
One, be a man of your word. Two, always do the work. And three, try to help others as much as possible because you're gonna get rewarded yourself.
Hmm. Lovely, lovely. And what would you say to someone who would perhaps say that $100 a month is too much money for the real world?
Well, I'll tell him to stop thinking in terms of money and start thinking in terms of value and how much is he gonna get from the real world. Because at the end of the day, everything is a value exchange. You pay $100 for per month, but you get actually access to millionaires, to guys that are running business currently, successful businesses in
Mhm.
any niche, any possible. You connect with a bunch of successful entrepreneurs, with a bunch of successful guys that know what they're doing. And if you basically sit at a table with 5 millionaires, you're going to be the sixth one.
Absolutely. You mentioned earlier that the first thing that someone should do is only stick to one campus. That was your first tip to someone joining the real world. Can you give me two more tips for a new student?
Yeah, a second tip would be to try to get involved into chat as much as possible. Try to understand how actually people think in there and what's their mentality and how
Mhm.
they speak. It's very important to analyze all of this stuff. I don't want people to come into the chats and be like newbies and just talk, aha, what's the day, wah. No, I want you to refer to the chats. I want to refer to the things that we're talking. If you don't know what we're talking, you can get, for example, into the courses and you learn from there, and then you understand what people think and how you can connect with them, right? It's very important to be active in the chat, to speak as much as possible and try to connect with people so that you basically can become friends, brothers, and just work together and get shit done together. It's very important. And a
Wonderful.
third tip, and a third tip for the guys that are basically joining the real world and they don't know what to do, it's to let me think about it, bro. I know you're gonna edit it out, but
No,
so
let's
yeah,
go. Let's go.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
do it.
yeah, yeah. Is to always go to the courses. It's very important, right? And it's also very important how you go through the courses, right? If you go in there and you Netflix your way into it and you just look at it and just skip next, so that at
Mhm.
the end of the day you have a progress bar that just says 100%, but you don't know shit, that's
Yeah.
gonna be a bomb destroyer for you, bro. You're never gonna learn anything.
Yeah.
It's the best way to learn into campuses is to go to the courses, take notes, learn, ask questions if you don't know, and then you can go, for example, and speak to people, and you're just gonna understand everything about it. You're just gonna become a part of the group as long as you go to the courses and you absorb the content, not just look at the content, right?
What's next for you inside the campus?
Well, next for me is champion, then the real world. Let's put it that way, of a
Mhm.
general perspective view. But for me, inside the campus is basically make as much money as possible, make as many connections as possible, and always try to speak to the right people, to the good people, and
Mhm.
basically help others is very important because at the end of the day, when I knew nothing, people helped me out and answered my
Yeah.
questions, even though I was a fucking newbie and I didn't know shit.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I can just do this back with as much time as available as I have.
You mentioned about the champions package. If someone was going to join and they said which subscription should they sign up to, which subscription would you recommend and why? Because you've got the Heroes Year, right? You've got the championship package, and you have the monthly subscription. Tell me a bit more
Yeah.
about that. What do you think of about that in terms of value? What would you tell them to sign up to?
Look, obviously, after you sign up to the real world and you understand a bit of how everything works and you follow the lessons, for example, you're already 2 weeks into the program, I'll highly recommend you to stick to the Heroes Year. It's extremely important. You get access to lessons from Luke, which are very, very important, not just the lessons in itself, but for your mind to listen to it and absorb the knowledge from what Luke is telling.
Hmm.
And from there, I'd say stick to the Heroes Year because it's very important. And
Yeah.
if you actually stick to it, you don't like you're gonna make money faster than you think. That's what people fear about the real world is that they're never going to make money. But if you actually stick to the lessons and you learn and you are perspicacious and you speak to people and you join the heroes program, you're gonna make money. It's impossible if you dedicate yourself as much as possible, even if you have to work 12 hours and you come there and you do 2-3 works of the real world, and for example, you have a lunch break at your work, you just stay into
Yeah.
the real world, speak to people, learn more things, learn how people talk, and you're just going to be fine. You're going to make money sooner or later. It might take you 3 days, it might take you a week, it might take you 4 months. You're just going to do it because that's the
Yeah.
way it goes. For everybody, it's different, and it will pop up at the end of the day.
And finally, Bruno, how much money have you made in total from the real world?
I would say about 57, 60 grand. 60 grand with the money that are coming in right now.
That's amazing, G. That's
Yeah,
amazing. Well,
bro.
listen, thanks for your time today, Bruno. Honestly, it's been great having you on. And listen, I'm proud of you, man. You're still a very young man. I know that you said that speed is key, but you're still very young. You're smashing it. And it's lovely to see young men like you doing well and, training and listening to the professors and, progressing in what you're doing. So, no, honestly, it's been a real honor to talk to you, mate. And hopefully one day I'll see you soon and we'll meet up for a coffee. And if you want to dance in the ring, let's go and do it. Let's put the
100%.
gloves on. Yeah, but
100%
listen, it's
appreciate
been
it, bro.
great. Thank you so much for your time, Bruno. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you, bro.
Thanks a lot, bro.